Okay, let us make 3 prostrations together, all together. Okay, please take a seat.
You started using this.
Wonderful. Yes, yes.
So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Kushika. It is a great honor and pleasure to have with us Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdol, Director of Tibet House, today with us again. Geshe-la has been very kind and generous to us by taking out time for us and give some teachings here. Geshe-la, we are very happy and thank you so much for being with us again. Little bit about Geshe-la's introduction, though he doesn't need one, but still it's inspiring to know about Geshe-la's life. Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdol is currently the Director of Tibet House, New Delhi, the cultural center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He also gives regular lectures and leads philosophy classes at Tibet House and several universities and institutes. He travels widely within India and abroad to teach Buddhist philosophy, psychology, logic, and practice. Geshe-la has also worked on several books such as Ethics for the New Millennium Part 2, Art of Happiness, and co-authored with Professor Paul Ekman on the book titled Emotional Awareness. He has written a number of articles and papers for national and international conferences on the theme of the paradox of the brain and the mind and ultimate reality according to Arya Nagarjuna. Currently, he is working on 2 books titled Journey into the Paradox of Brain and Mind and What Constitutes the Ultimate Reality? The Effects of Understanding the Ultimate Reality. Today, Geshe-la is going to give us a teaching on the meditation on wisdom of altruistic bodhicitta, the most beautiful mind in the universe. Geshe-la, we look forward to experiencing the most beautiful mind in the universe. Thank you.
Okay, so we will say some prayers. Sanye Joda Zoge Jonamda, Chanjo Bando Dane Gyabzoje, Dage Jinzoge Besonamge, Yoda Benjir Sanye Domarejo, Sanye Joda Zoge Jonamda,
현주 발도단의 역수지 나게 신소지 배서남지 도도 벤질 산지 루바레쇼 산지 주도 속에 천한다 천주 발도단이 나게 신소지 배서남지 도도 벤질 산지 루바레쇼. Okay, we'll recite this mantra together, Ye Dharma mantra together, and I'll quickly explain the meaning of the mantra. I don't know if we have, no, the mantra is not,
The mantra is good.
the mantra, do we have it in the form of the pamphlets or whatever? Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so the mantra, most of you already know this mantra, the meaning of the mantra as well. And should there be some who are not exposed to this mantra, this mantra is very important. And if you're interested, you can get it from Tibet House. You can also get it from Venerable Kabirji here. And so this mantra, the meaning is Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava, all phenomena arise from causes, that everything that we see around, particularly in terms of your experience of happiness, misery, and so forth, they arise from their respective causes. So rather than expecting, or rather than say blaming external factors, some external agents, it is to do with its early causes and all related to one's own the actions. Ye dharma hetu prabhava, hetum deshan tathagato hyavatat. And what these causes are, what are the causes responsible for all our miseries? The happiness, misery, and so forth. More precisely, the miseries that we go through, they are taught by the Tathagata. Tathagata referring to the Buddha. They're all taught by the Buddha. And then once we identify what these causes are, how to get rid of these causes. Tathagata hyavata tesham jayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramati soham. The cessation of these causes as well is taught by the great seer. How to bring an end to these causes as well is taught by the great seer. Meaning that all the problems somehow rooted to the ignorance, and the ignorance, we can see the ignorance on various levels. Ignorance pertaining to not knowing mathematics, ignorance pertaining to not knowing the cooking, ignorance not knowing the wisdom to see the reality as it is. So see that all these problems are somehow related to ignorance. And one ignorance, usually in Tibet House, and all the classes that we have, they are more oriented towards discovering the wisdom as what constitutes the ultimate reality, what constitutes the wisdom. So there's one kind of ignorance which is extremely important for us to know, and then see how to get rid of this ignorance. So this ignorance is the ignorance not knowing that loving others, cherishing others is the ultimate source of happiness. Ignorance not knowing that loving others, cherishing others is the ultimate source of happiness for yourself. This is incredibly great ignorance. So people end up in terrorism, just terrorizing other people, creating fears in other people, and then corruption, and then say gender discrimination, any form of discrimination, including gender discrimination. These are all the indication that there's the ignorance within yourself, not knowing that this sense of discrimination, which undermines others, that is nothing but the source of misery for yourself. This is something which anybody who is somehow connected with connected with these actions of discrimination is a clear indication that the person is nothing but enveloped in the ignorance of not knowing the reality that what I'm seeking. Why, say, the male chauvinism? Why the male chauvinism? Oh, with the male chauvinism, then we are superior. So as compared to the girls, the girls. So with this feeling, then the discrimination happens. But in actuality, this discrimination simply pushes half of the human family away from you. The moment you push that, the potential for you to have the maximum happiness, half is gone. So then we see that this is the ignorance, not knowing that embracing all others equally is a source of ultimate happiness. And the fact that why people do that, to discriminate in this way, is expecting that you will get more happiness. In actuality, this is the opposite. This is the irony. Okay, so with this in mind, this mantra tells us that finally the cause of all the miseries is the ignorance, be it ignorance, the cognitive, and the cognitive side of the ignorance, meaning, say, distorting the reality, that how things truly exist, and how you conceive the things, or how you presuppose things to be existing. In actuality, it's a fact, whether we admit it or not, whether you like it or not, the fact is that things are all illusion-like. This is a fact. And while this is a fact, we superimpose a reality which is very different from what the reality is. We superimpose something so objectified there. So like in dream, the dream, because you superimpose the dream ghost to the real ghost, invariably the fear arises. Whereas if you know that the dream ghost is, I don't have to superimpose the dream ghost to the real ghost, it's dream ghost. The moment you realize that, you're freed from the fear of the ghost chasing you. So likewise, the reality, we superimpose a reality there. In actuality, that is totally illusion. It is your projection, and then you are scared by this projection. This is reality. Okay, so this one ignorance, a cognitive ignorance. There is an affective ignorance. Affective ignorance is where your mind, movement, say this difference that we need to know, affective and a cognitive. Cognitive says that, okay.
Not a real
Okay, it doesn't matter. Huh?
It's too big. He wants flower.
Okay, it's fine. We can.
That's too big.
No, bring the whole thing.
Okay.
No, the whole thing with the vase.
It's too big.
Okay, fine. Okay, let's say say this flower is pink flower. This is a pink flower. You look at it and I say that, oh, there's a brown flower. There's a brown flower. This say, I'm not really averse to flower, nor I am attached to flower. Say, I'm neutral to flower. By the way, this is more the reality of me. I'm not really attached to the flower, nor I'm averse to the flower. Some people, they said that they are averse to the flower. Okay, is there anyone who is averse to flower? Averse to flowers? Okay, you wouldn't believe they are. You may not trust me, but I've seen people say that on the cloths and the curtain, no flowers allowed. You're getting it? Curtain with the flower designs, no flowers allowed. Okay, so there's some people that are averse to flowers. Some people that are so infatuated with flowers. Okay, let's say that I'm somebody who is they say it's very neutral to the flowers, and then let's say the Vivekji has affinity to the flowers, right? Okay, so two of us when look at the flower, right? Oh, there's a flower there. And then third person who's averse to the flower. Three people then with the same flower, and then they say, oh, there's a flower there. Tell me whether this perception is correct or not correct. There's a flower there. Is it correct perception or incorrect perception? It's a correct perception. Now, of the three perceptions, then I say that what kind of flower? That's a brown flower. Brown flower. Is it correct or not correct? It's not correct. It's incorrect. It's invalid. Okay, now let's see. So, yet while I see this as a brown flower, my mind is not affected. My mind is not affected. Oh, I like it, I dislike it. No, I'm just neutral, still neutral. So cognitively it is erroneous, but effectively I'm not affected. Effectively meaning that my mind is not pulled by the object, nor pushed by the object. Right? So effectively it's neutral. Cognitively it is invalid. Right? And then Vivek comes. Vivek looks at it. Oh, there's a brown flower. Oh, there's golden flower. It's not a golden flower, it's a pink flower. Golden flower. And the Vivek says, can I have this in my room? Okay, so there, now not only it is called he has a cognitive error, cognitive mistake, there's also affective influence here. I want to take it home. You're getting it? So now the point is, say the cognitive error is to see the object in its distorted way. Affective error is that, okay, if I push others away from me, if I work for myself, then I'll be happy. This is affective error. Right? The reality is that the more you cherish others, the more happy you are, finding what you want. I want to be happy. Okay, in this group, particularly those of us here, who have not been to Tibet House, right? Who have not been to Tibet House, just tell me, what do you think? Say find what do you want? You want maximum happiness? How do you agree with me? Raise your hands. If possible, I want maximum happiness. Raise your hands. Very good. So, if you want maximum happiness, how do you do that? Okay, get all the money for yourself so that you'll be happy. Get all the money for yourself. Then what? Corruption happens, right? And then say destroy, for example, say your religion, whatever, say your religion, Buddhism, destroy all other religion, right? Then your religion alone will be left, then you will be happy. These are all affective illusions. Effectively, they are all illusions. In actuality, the more you embrace all others, more happy you are. So, failing to see this, you attract all the miseries. Right? The proof is very simple. Those people, those countries, those groups who are involved in terrorism for all these many years, since 2000, let's say since 2011. No.
2001.
2001, 2002, right? How many years now? 18 years. 18 years, those people who are involved into terrorism, believing that terrorizing others, right, destroying other religions, destroying other ethnicities, will be happy. Are they happy? The history will tell us. History is the proof. History is the witness that whether or not that ideology is correct or not. It is totally illusion, right? So therefore, this is known as the affective ignorance. Affective ignorance, and one is the cognitive ignorance. So these two ignorances, they are responsible for attracting all our miseries. So the point is, if you really want to be happy, then we have to get rid of these two ignorances. Affective ignorance and the cognitive ignorance. We have to get into these two things. Okay, so that is very clearly indicated by the great seer. Ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum desham tathagato hyavata desham jagad nirota evam vadima shramana soham. So this mantra, So if you learn this mantra, and when you go through difficulties, when you see your parents going through difficulties, when you see your neighbors going through difficulties, when you see your friends going through difficulties, this mantra can have incredible effect on relieving you of these problems, incredible effect. And the same, on the other hand, we can say that this is very scientific in nature. Of course, today there are so many discussions, Ye Dharma, Hetu Prabha, all these phenomena, particularly of the miseries, they arise from the causes, so cause-effect relationship. On that basis, we talk about the determinism, free will, the debates between these two things, determinism, free will, so forth. These things coming up. So with all the disciplines, neuroscience, quantum physics, so the Buddhist philosophy, Western philosophy, the Indian, the classical, the Vedantic philosophy, with all these, they end up with this kind of the dilemma, known as the dilemma between the free will versus the determinism. Okay, so the point is that we all today, modern science, philosophy, we all seek happiness guided on the basis of the principle of the cause-effect relationship. So with this, if you really want to be happy, if you really want to have the happiness, then say get rid of these two ignorances. And if you really want to have the maximum happiness, get rid of these two ignorances completely. So if this is what you learn, then this is the greatest thing. This is greatest achievement, greatest success that you think of in your life. And for you, say you think of your family members, you think of your children, and you are saying anyone who is not so interested in this kind of philosophy, so they can be very positively affected by you. Okay, so this mantra is so precious from that respect. Okay, with that in mind, let's recite this mantra 3 times with a tune. And those of us who do not know how to say this, don't worry, just listen to us. And if you know how to do this, then slowly join us. Okay. And while we do that, visualize your 2 parents on 2 sides and all the family members around you. And particularly this topic, the beautiful mind of Bodhicitta, the wisdom of the beautiful mind of the altruistic Bodhicitta. This is so precious, not for the world, for you, for each one of us. This mind is so precious. Okay, this is what we're going to discuss later on, today and tomorrow. Okay, with that in mind, imagine that you're leading this, and everyone who seeks happiness, including your parents, your family members, your children, they're all with you, and they're following you in this journey of cleansing the mind of the 2 ignorances, so that you and all others will acquire the maximum happiness. With that in mind, let's recite this 3 times. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum desham tathagato yavatat desham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum desham tathagato yavatat desham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum desham tathagato yavatat Desham Jayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha. Okay, let's next we recite the mantra Yatam Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhiswaha. Again, the meaning is very simple. In English, this mantra can be translated as here is thus, Yata, here is thus, Gade Gade, go, go, Paragade, go beyond, Parasangate, utterly go beyond, Bodhiswaha, establish enlightenment. Go, go, go beyond, go utterly beyond, establish enlightenment. What does it mean by go, go, go beyond? So where to go? From where? So for that matter, it's not external journey. Although go has a connotation of journey, it is not external journey, it's a matter of journey, it's the journey of the mind. Say the water, this water that we have, let's say that this is the water which is just the freshly taken from the Yamuna river. Freshly taken from Yamuna river, right? Okay, really freshly meaning it is not the subjected to any treatment, right? Freshly taken from Yamuna river, very dirty. Nobody will want to drink it. Then what we do is that we subject this to the purification, the process purification, like the ultrafiltration, reverse osmosis, and so forth. With these processes, we purify the water, meaning that we extract all the dirt from the water, and what is left? What is left? Very pure water is left there. Okay, so this pure water came from where? From Yamuna river, or from where? From the Mount Kailash. From where? From the Yamuna river. But from the Yamuna river is very dirty water, not the pure water. So where did we get this pure water from? This question. You're getting it? Okay. So on the other hand, let's say a black charcoal. Then I assign you to make it white inside out. What do you do? You remove the black part. Remove the black part, what happens? The charcoal disappears. With the dirty water, freshly taken from the Yamuna river, you remove the dirt through these processes. Instead of the water disappearing, the water becomes very clean. Whereas for black charcoal, remove the black part, instead of the charcoal becoming white, the charcoal disappears. Okay, anyone, what's the difference? Why the water, this dirty water, why the water did not disappear as we subject this water to purification? Why the water did not disappear? On the contrary, why the black charcoal disappears when you remove the black part? Why? Anyone, very quick. Anyone. Okay, including those people from Tibet also. Yes, here.
So the very nature of water is being clear.
Very good.
The dirt is removed, the turbidity is gone, and actually
With the black charcoal?
and the
Black charcoal?
charcoal on heating is actually sublimate.
Okay, so basically, so what is being said is that with the charcoal, the true nature of the charcoal is black, and with the true nature of the water is very clean, right? True nature of the water is so clean. Although the water that we take from the Yamuna is so dirty, you don't want to even touch it. Forget about drinking it. But the true nature is never dirty. Remove the dirt, the true nature will come out, which is so pure. So our mind, however defiled our mind is, full of anxiety, stress, tension, misery, right? And a very small thing can trigger agitation in us, right? Somebody says that, okay, where are you going? Where are you going? What's wrong with this? And then you hear it as though like the person is talking in a very boring tone, right? Why are you asking like this in a very boring tone? What's the problem? And then you're agitated, right? And because you agitate, other person also gets agitated. Very small things can easily agitate us. This is what our mind is. But the true nature of mind is not like this. However agitated you are, however short-tempered you are, the true nature of mind is not like this. What's the opposite of agitation? calmness. The true nature of mind is so calm. And we may be so short-tempered. For no reason, you just show anger towards, you burst anger, blast anger to somebody else. Right? So what's the opposite of anger? Patience, love. The true nature of mind is full of love, affection, so forth. No room for anger. Right? And then little mathematical calculation, we get lost. We immediately go to the mobile, right? We cannot do it. The true nature of mind is not like this. Our mind can do all this competition so well. Right? And then, say I give you very simple mathematical problems. Right? I ask you to do this. Well, slowly, you do it. I will say it very quickly, you cannot do it. Why you cannot do it? Because you are saying very quickly. Right? Actually, you do not say that my mind works very slowly. Right? So the point is that our mind, this is the nature of our mind. Our mind the true nature of mind is not slow. The true nature of mind is so fast. It's of high quality, full of compassion, full of wisdom, and full of power. And yet, on the contrary, what is superficially seen is like the dirty water. The true nature of water is so pure. What is seen superficial is so dirty, right? So what is seen, a mind, is so short-tempered and easily feeling demoralized and giving up things so easily, and easily feeling agitated, irritated, and so forth. So these are not your true nature. Don't forget it. These are not your true nature. And somebody, right? You end up in a tragedy. You get lost in a tremendous fear. Again, the fear is not your true nature, right? We have a tremendous self-confidence. A true nature of mind has a tremendous self-confidence. It does not have fear. But why? If these are not the true nature, how come that they come to the surface? How come? It is like the dirty water. The true nature of the water is never dirty. The dirts are all superficial. Yet, when they are mixed with the true nature becomes dominant, not visible. And the dirts become visible. Likewise, as the true nature of mind, which is full of compassion, never agitated easily, no anger, calmness, compassion, wisdom, stability, fastness, rigor. All these, while they are there within each one of us, they remain dominant because they are mixed with the temporary dirt. So the job is to exterminate dirt. So the process of what is this journey? Gate, para samgati. What is this journey? This journey is a journey of cleansing the impurities from a mind so that the true nature of mind will become manifest. Right? The moment the true nature of mind becomes manifest from your side, you are never going to be affected by any external factors. Say, like the sound of clap, like this. Same from your side, when your mind is so pure, all the mental dirt, they are removed. Then of the two hands, one hand is removed. External factors, no matter what, it cannot give rise to the sound of the misery. Sound of the misery starts. So this is where, with the worst amidst the vicious, very ferocious external factors, your mind cannot be affected. Your peace of mind cannot be affected. That is the point where your peace of mind, the infinite happiness, is forever guaranteed. So if there's a journey for you, if there's a task in your life for you, that task is none other than the task to cleanse your mind of the mental defilements. This is a task. If you do this task, you are the most kind person to yourself. As long as we are not doing this task, no matter how busy you keep yourself, we are just living the world of illusion, wasting your youth, wasting your life. Anybody who is doing this task of undertaking the cleansing of the mind, undertaking this journey of cleansing the mind, you are the wisest person on this earth. No matter what label that you have, even if you have such a big labels, if one is not involved in cleansing undertaking the journey of cleansing the mind, you are not being kind to yourself. Okay, so with that in mind, it's a reminder for us that, okay, I have to work for my, living, for my survival. I have to work. It's the 9 to 5, I have to work. But don't forget, I should not forget that finally my real work should be the work to cleanse my mind so that I can forever become independent from any external factors and my peace of mind is forever guaranteed. Okay, so with this in mind, let's recite this mantra as a reminder for us that there is a deeper meaning of my life, more than what conventionally considered as, you should finish your school, finish your college, university, and then you should get the job, and you should get married, and you should have this family, and then the family children, they will bother you, they harass you, harass you, then you've been in trouble. Okay, this is a part of my life. This is nothing. I'm not saying that these are bad. This is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that these things are there, but don't forget that you have a very precious life. Your life, if this is how we lead a life, just to get some money, just to get a job, promotion, and then some competition with other people, and some jealousy sometimes, and then feeling sad when somebody's unfair towards you. If this is what you think of your life, you are underestimating the value of life. You have an incredibly precious life, which can be used to accomplish far, 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 far more than that, which only the wise people can sense, others will not sense. It is for this reason that see if what we are learning today and tomorrow, it makes sense to you. If it makes sense to you, then say while you go through the conventional way of life, make sure that at least like 5% of your life, if not 50%, 5%, 10% of your life is dedicated towards cleansing the mind, and then see to the effect. Effect, right? Say, when you have depression, then you take the antidepressant pill, right? And it will keep you calm for a few hours. And then this is one part. Another part, instead of taking antidepressant, you take this medicine of cleansing the mind. And how if it affects it, right? You will see the stark contrast. Then you will see that, wow, this is something so precious, right? So precious. Antidepressant for what? So that my mind will be calm. But it's just temporary respite. It's not an ultimate solution, it's a respite. And meanwhile, it destroys all my other parts of the body, side effects, right? It numbs my whole brain, right? It has so much of side effects. Eventually, it will destroy your nervous system. Okay, so with this in mind, let's recite this mantra. Diatom gadi gadi para samgadi buddhiswa. Again, the not missing to remember your two parents and all the family members, all sentient beings with you, and all the enlightened beings. They are there to inspire you, to tell you that, yes, this is a journey, right? Okay, when I was young, meaning that I just finished my class 12, maybe about like 30 years ago, right? When many of these young boys and girls are not even born. Okay, so there, I remember that they say the track of my life was taking a little turn, and then so many people, they were really upset. What is happening? I remember in my life those days. There were only two people who appreciated what I was doing. Only two. The rest of the world, they are saying, what's going with you? What's wrong with you? Only two. And these two now, when I go back in time, I see these two other people who are so matured in thinking, all others are small children. right? Likewise, what we see is that if in your life, when you pursue through this journey of cleansing the mind, kate, parasamgate, bodhisattva, you guarantee that of the 100 people who you're going to meet, you are lucky if you meet one person who said that what you're doing is amazing. 99% of the people will say you are crazy, right? Because they are crazy. Right? Crazy people will see the normal people as crazy. You're getting it? Okay. So with this mind, let's recite this so that we will be awakened from being crazy. Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Dhyatam Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Dhyatam Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha. Okay. The talk is the today talk is on the wisdom of altruistic compassion-minded bodhicitta. Okay, let me first present more like say the formula, a very simple synopsis of what we're going to cover tonight and tomorrow. Okay. In this world, so there is, scientifically speaking, in physics there is what is known as the theory of chaos. How many of you heard about this? Theory of chaos, right? Okay. And what it says, entropy, the concept of entropy, what it says is that the tendency for the world is that things should be going from the orderly state to the disorderly state or the lack of orderly state. This is the tendency of the world, the universe. This is what this theory says. What determines whether this is orderly or not? Right? In fact, I remember when I was young, nowadays it is again the fashion's changing. Fashion's changing. At one point, say if you don't have some of you may have, I don't know, the jeans with the 2 knees. If you don't have that, you are something wrong with you. It must be 2 knees, and for the boys and for some girls also, the pants should go down, right? If it also go down, something's wrong with you. If you put it so properly, something's wrong with you. When I was young, if there's some even what nowadays the jeans have in the white part, what do you call it? The fade, the fade. In those days, if something is a fade, which means that you're a poor guy, right? You don't have these things. Okay, you don't even have the decent, proper, clothes. Okay, and then suddenly, say if you don't have the fade, something's wrong with you. If some purely blue, something's wrong with you. Right? And then if your pant is not going down, again something wrong with you. Right? Okay. So what makes who decides that which is correct, which is not correct, right? Who decides? Our human mind decides. Our human mind decides. And this human, because they look at how this human mind is very unstable, because the fashion changes, right? Which means that the human mind is changing. This is how unstable our mind is. Okay, now the point is that this mind which decides, and this mind is so complicated, extremely complicated. This mind is very complicated, right? Okay. And I'm sure, except for the younger ones, maybe like 20 or below, you may not have the experience, maybe 25. Some people say that only when you reach 30, you're a proper human being. How many of you are not proper human being at the moment? Below 20, below 30, raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. Okay, number of you who are not proper full human being. Now, okay, this is what we learned, right? Okay, but the compliment to you is that Albert Einstein, he said one thing, right? And some people said, okay, I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm a proper human being now. Okay, Albert Einstein said one thing which is very interesting. What he said is that when you hit 40, the tendency for you to discover, to make discoveries, is gone. Meaning that discoveries made by the scientists will be made before the scientist reaches the age of 40. Right? The moment you reach 40, your mind becomes static, you will not discover anything. This is what Albert Einstein said. It's very interesting. Right? Okay. So with this, what I'm saying is that our mind is very complicated. Right? Very complicated. It is for this reason the Buddha said that the mind is the chief of all phenomena and it precedes all phenomena. If with a pure mind you act or you speak, virtues will follow you like the shadow that following the person. Your mind is the chief and precedes all phenomena. If with the impure mind one acts for space, non-virtues, unhappiness will pursue you the way the cart follows the ox. You getting it? So this is what the Buddha said. It's an amazing summary. It's an amazing summary which the Buddha made of the psychology of our thinking. So with this mind, the point that I'd like to say is that this mind, in fact, it was when I was in my teenage, I remember a quote which His Holiness said. His Holiness said that we are so developed to the extent of exploring the outside world, going to the moon, exploring the space. We go so far there, but we forgot to explore what's inside our own mind. This is what he said. It's beautiful. Inside the mind, again, this whole world of the mind. Right? The moment we explore that, just with external reality, external world, the universe, we see that in the first place we are on planet Earth. And planet Earth is nothing but a part of the solar system. And the solar system is nothing, just a speck of a dust in the eyes of the Milky Way galaxy. It's just a speck of a dust, so insignificant in the eyes of the Milky Way galaxy. And the Milky Way galaxy is a speck of dust in the eyes of the whole universe. Okay, this is what it is. So from this we see that likewise, the complexities, the multiplicity of the universe, the world systems there. Likewise, there's a world system inside, there's a multiplicity. We speak about the mind as very simple. No, it is not as simple like that. For example, say, what's the external world? The moon is too simplistic. What you're saying is too simplistic. It's a clear indication that one does not know what the world is, what the universe is like. what Milky Way galaxy is. So whereas likewise, if you say that, oh, it's just a mind, which means that you really don't know what mind is. Within the mind, we see that it's just so complex and so innumerable in terms of the number and so forth. So from this, what we come to learn is that within this mind, right, there are some parts which are responsible for attracting all miseries, and there are others which attract happiness. This is reality. This is reality. Some attract miseries, some attract happiness. And some minds are so beautiful. Some minds just terrible. Right? Same person. Right? I just met, they say, a patient and a doctor. I just met. And then I was talking to the mother, the patient, who's a patient, and the doctor was listening. And I could see the moisture in her eyes, the doctor's eyes, moisture. The relationship with the mother and the daughter is so beautiful. So why this happening? It's just nothing. It's just the symptom. It's just the surface representation of what's going inside the mind. So when that person feels that mental state where the person would feel moisture in one's eyes, tender. Within that state of mind, wanting to harm that person, wanting to using harsh words to that person is far away, is remote. Right? It's so beautiful state of mind. One. And then in some cases, you go to some people there, you sit in front of the person. The moment the person just stares at you, right? Stares at you and utter one word, your heart is beating, like pumping like this. So much of fear arises. So what made you have this much of fear? This reflects what's going in that mind, the ego of the other person. Other person, ego, driven by ego, so much, maybe the person has so much of power, wealth, education, driven by ego. The moment you are in front of that person will have just a feeling as well like, who are you? Right? How dare that you are next to me? You come here. With this, you just start shivering. You feel so unpleasant. There's nothing but the representation of what's going in that person's mind. You're getting it? So there, the mind, some are so beautiful, the way I shared with you. The mother and the child, particularly when the child is so sick, the mother dares to sacrifice everything. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And then there's another sort of mind. You feel it, and it simply makes you to freeze your state of mind, right? So there we see that, where is this happening? It's both within the mind. So the mind is not a simplistic object. The mind, within that, there are multiplicity. There's just the incredible, innumerable versions, kinds of the mental state. Okay. From this, if I were to tell you that how many of you in your life you seek a fearlessness. In other words, how many of you don't want to have fear in your life? Fear of losing the job, or fear of, what news I may hear, bad news, what kind of bad news I may hear, the fear of that. Okay, right? Okay. So my mobile, right? Okay. Okay, one of my relatives, very young one, relatives, usually I don't get any telephone call. When I get a call, right, something very serious, this call can come to me any time in the day or night, including 2 a.m., 3 a.m., anytime. If I don't get it, oftentimes, okay, how many of you consider that if you don't receive a call from somebody you love, okay, the person now ignores me, or the person now forgets me, or how many of you consider that? Raise your hands. Okay. How many say, oh, I'm lucky that I'm not receiving call from this person who loves me so much? How many of you? Okay. In my case, it's not that I feel bored. In my case, if I don't receive a call from that person, from their relative, I'm so happy, not because I'm being spared. No, the person is healthy. Right? When the person is very healthy, I'll not receive any call. Right? So which means that it's an indication that the person is healthy.
No news is good news.
No news is good news. Right? So the person is telling me, in a way, saying that, don't worry, I'm healthy. So I'm not calling you. The moment I receive a call is always urgent. Very urgent calls. Like sometimes 2 a.m., some 3 a.m., right? Okay, I have to pick up the call. Okay. So the point is that, say, the fear. Conventionally speaking, when you speak about fear, okay, I don't really have fear. So this fear of a tiger jumping at you, these are the conventional concept of fear. A fear, any disturbance which you dislike and yet you have associated with that is a fear, right? Say, I don't want to have I don't want to have, say, the ill health, right? But it can happen. Dengue. What is that? Dengue or dengue? Huh? Okay, so there are different versions, right? Both are correct. Okay, so let's say dengue. Okay, so we never know. Okay, we're healthy, those poor people, unfortunate people, they're in the AIMS or in the fortress, right? In fortress, Fortress. In the fortress, and so unlucky people, they have the dengue, right? Okay, I'm free from dengue. No, this is not the reality. Anybody who can contract the dengue any time, right? Anytime. So if you seriously think that I'm no exception. Anytime I can also contract the dengue, right? Then this is known as the fear. I don't want it, and yet I can have it. Anytime it can happen to me. This is the fear. You're getting it? So, any problem related to any problem which you dislike, the fear is there. Okay, raise your hands. Those who don't want any fear in life. Raise your hands. Okay, those who say that fear is so fun. Okay, raise your hands. Oh, sometimes what's wrong with that? Fears are fun. Okay, raise your hands. Okay, fears are fun, right? Okay, cyanide is a fun. Eating cyanide is a fun sometimes. Let's try cyanide. Raise your hands. Okay, so the point is fear, if you really feel the fear, it is extremely corrosive, very corrosive of feeling that simply erodes your immune system. You could feel it. You could feel that your energy is drained. Instantly your energy is drained when the fear rises. You getting it? Okay. Now, fear, what is the counter force of the fear? The state of fearlessness. Don't forget it. The state of fearlessness is not a bodily state, it's a mental state. Therefore, what we seek is fearlessness. And then sometimes, Okay, how many of us here in this hall, sometimes you feel bored. Weekends, you do not plan anything, and then it's so boring, so bored, you feel so bored. Okay, once in a while, not every day, once in a while, did you ever have that feeling? You feel so bored, nothing to do, no, I don't have energy. I sleep, no, I cannot sleep. Right? Okay, how many times it happened to you? Raise your hands. Well, not how many times. At least once in your lifetime, raise your hands. Okay, we all, right? So instead of feeling bored, instead of being a very boring day, if it's full of fun, full of joy, how many of you seek that? Being a boring state and full of fun and joy. Which do you prefer? Fun and joy. Okay, so what we seek is we seek full of fun and full of joy. Technically, we can say infinite happiness. You getting it? If, believe it or not, we all, everybody, whether you are a Buddhist, Hindus, Muslims, Jains, Christians, Jews, Sikhs, non-believers, even animals, what they seek is infinite happiness and the state of fearlessness. How many of you agree with me? Okay, how many of you agree with me that you are the one who seek fearlessness and who seek infinite happiness? Raise your hands. You, raise your hands. Very good. Okay, some people, right, just for the sake of argument, they say, I don't seek happiness. Right? What do you seek then? Okay, I seek, for example, I seek the truth. So what do you say if you get the truth? So I'm happy. You're seeking happiness here. Right? So first answer may be divergent. The first answer, what do you want? What is your ultimate goal? I want money. I want power. I want a good car. I want a good house. And I want a good neighborhood. So I want this, I want that. So why do we want that? So that I'll be happy. So when you ask the second question, then all the answers will boil down to the same. I want happiness. You getting it? Okay, deep down we see that we all, irrespective of who you are, we all seek happiness and we shun fears or miseries. Okay, with that in mind, now we should be very convinced that what I'm seeking is fearlessness and infinite happiness. Okay, now infinite happiness and the state of fearlessness is none other than your own mental state. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. You getting it? Okay, now the fearlessness, state of fearlessness, if there is one mind which is the most fearless in nature, if you really want to have a fearless mind, the most fearless mind, the demand of the fearlessness is the wisdom of emptiness. I'll explain it very quickly later on. The mind which is most fearless in nature, in this universe, right, is the wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness is the one which is most fearless in nature. If you want to be fearless, cultivate this wisdom. Okay, I'll just share a very quick story. Somebody somehow came to Tibet House. Accidentally came to Tibet House. And it so happened that we were running a short course on Heart Sutra about emptiness. And the person attended 3 days course on emptiness. And then after that, there was some job interview for that person. Job interview. And for the job interview, the panel of the interviewers, the person noticed that they were all the big shots of the government services. very big, their personality is there. Then the person felt so intimidated. Intimidated meaning? Fear. Right? I'm so nervous, intimidated, so much of fear. And then 3 days workshop on emptiness, the person took part in that. So instantly the person, started to think about, oh, this person, they are nothing but they are just like atoms. Why should I be afraid of the bunch of atoms? Right? Instantly the fear dissolved. You getting it? So the person achieved what is known as fearlessness. Because of seeing that person's empty other than a bunch of atoms. Right? Even this wall is also a bunch of atoms. This person is also a bunch of atoms. What's the difference? Why should I be scared of this bunch of atoms there? Right? Okay, so if there is one mind which is more fearless in nature, it is the wisdom of emptiness. So therefore, if you really seek fearlessness in your life, right, you must cultivate the wisdom of emptiness. And if you really want the happiest moment in your life, one mind which is most beautiful in this universe. In this universe, I can say the most beautiful flower on this earth. I cannot say the most beautiful flower in this universe because I have not seen the flower in the other parts of the universe. But I can generalize and say that the most beautiful mind in this universe is the mind of unconditional love. Unconditional love towards others. This is the most beautiful mind. Believe it or not, right? What you feel when you don't love the other person, what you feel when you have the unconditional love towards anyone, not only towards your mother, not only towards your child, not only towards your partner, but to everyone, right? This unconditional love. When you experience that, what is the state? The amount of the joy that you feel far transcends the joy of anything else. So this is the mind which we're going to study for today and tomorrow. Okay, so this mind we say in a very secular vernacular sense, we can talk about what is known as the unconditional love. Okay, unconditional love. Now, do we see this unconditional love? Do we see this unconditional love being practiced elsewhere around you? This question. Okay, I personally would say that this is so rare, so rarely found, but one which is so easily to be seen and visible is the relationship between the mother and the child, particularly when the child is very young, tender, vulnerable child. Then you can see the unconditional love. You're getting it? So therefore it is very important for us that if you really want to be very happy, right? Anytime, 24/7, you want to be a happy person, cultivate this unconditional love. And if you want to cultivate this unconditional love, you must need a sample. The best sample that you can see is the relationship, the dynamic relationship between the mother and the tender child, right? So this is so important to see that. The more you see that, from there you can conjecture what my mind will be like. Say full of the same. So say you have a little bit of fight with somebody, and in terms of education, other person's far less educated than you, and your ego is there. In terms of wealth, the other person far less privileged than you. In terms of position, other person far less important than position-wise, lower than you. And then you will find other person also equally fights with you. Then what happens? Your ego will be inflated. So with this ego, then what happens is this person is not giving me the due respect, right? How dare this person, so insignificant person, is fighting with me like this? And what's happening? The ego is coming. You're getting it? This ego is not destroying the other person, it's destroying you. The kind of feeling that is going within you, the kind of feeling that's going with you, agitation, irritation, disturbance within you is just insurmountable, right? Okay, so with this the point is that on the contrary, through this cultivation of unconditional love towards other person, okay, it doesn't matter. Position was much lower, much junior to you. Financially, other person much less than you. And they say, whatever, with every respect, the other person much less, but you feel the other person like your own child. Your own child. And the other person fights with you. It is like the mother seeing that a very sick child complaining to the mother. Mother would embrace the child even more. Right? So if you feel that, just compare these two feelings, where you're bloated with anger, you're bloated with the ego, and then you become so restless, you breathe so heavily, like this, on the one hand, and the other side, like mother, so calm, I'm very sorry, what can I do for you? So then look at the state of the mind. Which of the two minds you prefer? The first one or the second one? Of course, the second one. With the first one, very likely you will end up in hospital. You know, suddenly you may collapse with the blood pressure, the overshooting. What is the blood pressure which can make you go to hospital? Over 200, you may have to end up in hospital, ambulance, right? So therefore, what made you go to hospital? What made the other person, feel so calm, peaceful? What's the difference? The person the same, object is the same. Who provokes you is the same. But the difference in your thinking. One is with the love, one is opposite of love, ego. You getting it? Okay. This, if you think like this, so this when can you think like this? When can you think like this is that when you remain as the third person. When you remain as the third person, when you see two persons behaving like this, oh no, this is just terrible, it is self-destruction, it's a very wise person, look, right? The person can easily ignore the other person, fight with the other person, denounce the other person, but look, he or she's maintaining such calmness there, it's beautiful, you're getting it? So, as you as a third person, you can sense it, you can sense the difference. Whereas, when you actually under the ensnarement, under the captivity of the ego, you're already carried away by the current of this anger and the rage, and you are destroyed. You're getting it? So therefore, there are many steps, particularly tomorrow. I'll try to share with you as to the steps, as to the actual real life steps, what steps to take when we confront with difficulties, challenges, and so forth, right? These are some of the things that we like to do tomorrow. And of course, it will be even richer. It will become even more rich if you can come up with your, say, own views, your own, say, the experiences of difficulties, so how to tackle in on such situation. I don't know how to tackle the situation, so how to deal with this kind of situation. If you can bring up such anecdotes, they'll also make our sharing richer. Okay, so with this, the point is that this is amazing. This feeling, this most beautiful mind, unconditional love, is so beautiful. I personally, since I was aged like 19, I started this journey of practicing the unconditional love. I started the journey. If you ask me today, are you successful? If you ask this question, right, I would say that I've not been really a very successful practitioner, but within the limited capacity of myself, I see that it's of incredible benefit to me. I don't know how much it's benefit of others. No doubt, it made me so calm. Amazing benefit for me. To give you an example, to give you one very simple example, in those years when I was like 18, 19, say particularly there is one person. Just the thought of this person comes, it makes me, my blood, okay, so ferociously runs through my guts, through my body, like this, right? It's just, if I'm about to fall asleep, the thought of this person comes, I'll be just wide awake. The blood becomes so, what?
The
blood boils. Okay. Oh, this agitation, irritation, the body becomes stiff. Okay. Then I joined the Institute of Buddhist Dialectics. After my class 12. Then Institute of Buddhist Dialectics, so there, bodhicitta. What is bodhicitta? Unconditional love. What do you mean unconditional love? For all one, to everyone. To the near and dear ones, to the neutral beings, and to the enemies. Okay. Right, it's okay. Okay, so theoretically it's okay. Okay, so this is your journey, right? Your journey, Institute Buddhist Dialectics, this is journey. Okay, right? Okay, then, see, I took personal initiative in this as well. So the actual study should be coming in 3 years, but I took a personal initiative to do this practice way out of time and doing it. And then, you say the steps, right? 7 steps, 9 steps. Particularly in those days, I was doing the 7 steps. The 7-fold causified method to generate bodhicitta. I was doing that. And then when it comes to the last point, which is bodhicitta, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. My mind said, no way. Okay, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings except for that person. Except for that person. Okay, that was happening. And then, okay, so that is experiential. And theoretically, no, include everyone. Theoretically, practically except for that person. There's a stark difference between the theory and the practice. In the practice, I cannot accept that person, to include that person in my circle of compassion and love, right? Okay, then I said, no. Otherwise, you are wasting your life. No point in joining Institute of Buddhist Dialectics. No point in pursuing this philosophy, right? If you cannot embrace this person within the circle of compassion. Yes, okay. Again to the meditation, right? Okay. Again, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, accept, right? Okay, again, accept. Okay, it took me so many years. And finally, then, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all beings? Yes, of course. Still, it is not of course. It is of course. Reluctantly. And then slowly, right? May I become Buddha for the benefit of all. And this person is not only the problem creator for me. This person is a problem creator for so many people around this person. Right? So when I meet with my relatives, then the talk goes around that person, everybody's attacking this person. And then at one point, after many years, then the moment I see other people attacking this person, although not, say in front of the person, but behind the person, attacking this person, I feel so uncomfortable. I feel so uncomfortable. I don't feel the joy. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, that person needs to, yes, that's very true. That person is so just this selfish person, this culture, and there's no gratitude. Instead of that, I started to feel so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable to listen, to hear that somebody is attacking somebody, particularly that person, right? And then slowly, with more practice, then when I see somebody attacking this person, instantly a very natural reaction comes to defend the person, to defend the person. I'm so happy. For me, it took many years. To be very honest, it took many years. And yet, still, my practice is very basic. However basic my practices, still what I feel is that in this universe, the most beautiful mind is the mind of the unconditional love towards others, leaving none aside. This is the most beautiful mind. This is the most precious mind. Okay, so with this, Bodhisattva Shantideva say he put it so nicely. What is said? Of course, for all of us, this his book, A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. If you really want to be stress-free, if you really want to be happy all the time, then this book should be kept like a preamble, like a constitution of your... Yes, this book, A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. This book is incredibly precious book, and if you share with His Holiness that I read this book all the time and I give this book as my constitution, His Holiness will be so happy. This will be the best gift that you can offer to His Holiness if you tell him, if you're able to tell him that the one which guides me throughout my life is the Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, brought by Bodhisattva Shantideva. He will be so happy, right? Okay, if you really want to make him happy, we never know. You may get opportunity to see him, right, in person. And to that meeting, if you really want to make him happy, instead of saying that, okay, Your Holiness, I'm happy, be happy. Instead of saying this, if you say that, this is my favorite book. And precisely if you say that, chapter 6 and chapter 8, he will be in, cloud 9? This is the expression which I learned from Dipesh Lal. Then he will be in,
When you will be there?
in cloud 9.
Cloud
9, which means that he'll be thrilled. He'll be thrilled, right? Anytime, say somebody is going through the last stage of the life, terminal illness, and if the person comes for some blessings to His Holiness, and if His Holiness senses that this person is educated and can read books, the one thing that he advise the person is study, read this book. Just leave aside all the commitments. Leave aside all these commitments, read this book, and if you cannot read the whole book, just read chapter 6 and chapter 8. This is what he will say, right? Okay, so this would be wonderful. So there, this Bodhisattva Shantideva, what he said is amazing. So what he said is that if you can cultivate this unconditional love, if you, each one of us, if we can cultivate this unconditional love, it doesn't matter. You are a poor person, you are a rich person, you are a beggar, you are an educated, uneducated, girl, boy, old, young, it doesn't matter. Or high class, low class, aristocratic, just commoner, it doesn't matter. Anybody who cultivates this unconditional love of the bodhicitta, the moment that arises within you, even the kings of the divine beings, even the kings of the celestial beings, the Deva Devis, they will descend to make prostrations to you. Even if you're a beggar lying on the street, lying on the roadside to beg for food, if you have generated this beautiful mind, bodhicitta, even the kings of the celestial beings will come to touch their forehead to your feet to make prostrations to you. This is what he said. It's so beautiful. And then said that all the human beings and the gods and goddesses will revere you as the child of the Buddha. You getting it? This is so precious. What makes you so special? What makes you to become the child of a Buddha? Simply because, not that you have somebody, the king or the queen, picked you up as the stepdaughter or stepson. Not because of that. Simply because of you having cultivated this beautiful mind. Right? Beautiful mind of the bodhicitta. Okay, this is what is said. And the one thing which is so beautiful, is that in the monastic universities, okay, tell me how many of you have been, how many of you have seen the monastic debates? Monastic debates, how many have seen that? How many of you have not seen such monastic debates? Okay, so what I would say is that if you have not seen such monastic debates, I would highly recommend you, if possible, go to South India, like Gandhi Monastery, Sera Monastery, Devon Monastery. There you will see in such a huge debate courtyard, you will see like 1,000, 2,000 monks simultaneously in pairs debating on the subject matter of what constitutes ultimate reality and so forth. And psychology, metaphysics, logic, philosophy, epistemology, right? So these are the subject matters on which they debate to learn, to progress in the learning. And particularly, say, for a more formal setting of the debates, and for example, say the very auspicious day of the senior monks sitting for the final doctoral degree. Say, for example, if there are like 5 of them, then the 5 of them will defend their positions. They are sitting for the final exams, and the rest of the monks from the monastery, like 2,000 monks, they will all throw their questions against you, so you should be able to defend your position. Right? All through 2,000 monks. And who are these monks, tell me? Right? Ranging from the very junior class to the senior most, to the abbots. Even the abbots are there. Even the abbots will throw a question against you. You have to defend. Not only abbots, say His Holiness the Gandhi Rinpoche, the head of the Gelug tradition. Right? Say, even he will be there to throw a question against you. So you have to defend. So this is the kind of the rigor of the debate is going there. And the debate can last till like, say, 12 a.m., 1 a.m., right? Starting from 7 p.m., it'll go like this, 1 a.m. And then, when will you get the indication that now the debate is over? When will you get the indication? That is very touching, right? Same, in the middle of the debate, if, generally speaking, if a younger monk, a monk who's from a junior class, stands up, and then start a debate. So each debate will last for like 40 minutes, right? And then another monk from the 1 year senior in class will again bring forth a new debate. Again after 40 minutes. So this is how it keeps going. And then suddenly a younger monk stands up and then starts a debate. How the debate is started is by citing some quotes. And from the code, from the very code, you come to figure out what the debate is going to be like, what topic, what is the subject matter of the debate. And if suddenly the young monk stands up and then quotes a stanza about this unconditional love, which means all the monks, the moment they hear this, they will all sit upright in a proper way, right? They'll all start to meditate. Almost all will start to meditate, particularly on the very subject matter which this young monk brought and cited. You getting it? Say one stanza which is very commonly being said, and if you can reflect on this is something which the monastic members in thousands for all these like 700 years, they have been collectively meditating on this, the one of the Bodhicitta. So it is from chapter 1 of this. Okay, first let me see the gist and then I will recite it. Yeah, I will read it for all of us. What it says is that saying what we have is we have a body, speech, and mind. And what the Buddhas have, they will also have body, speech, and mind. While we are same in having the body, speech, and mind, but we are defined as an ordinary person, and the Buddhas are defined as the divine beings. What's the difference? The difference is like Buddha's body, speech, and mind, they are like the gold. And our body, speech, and mind, they are like the what?
Iron.
That the metals, the worn-out metals to be dumped, right? To be dumped in the garbage. Body, speech, and mind. So useless, right? Not only useless, very destructive. Whereas Buddha's body, speech, and mind, they are like solid gold, very refined gold. Okay, what makes Buddha's body, speech, and mind so special? Right? And this also came from the garbage like body, speech, mind like ours. How come that in some people, in some cases, the useless body, speech, and mind, they became such a refined gold body, speech, and mind? How come? Okay, so the analogy given was that in those days, there is what is known as the alchemy, the science of alchemy. Science of alchemy, meaning the science of converting ordinary metal into gold, right? So in those days, it is believed that there used to be some solution, chemical solution. So this chemical solution, if you apply this to the ordinary metals, all these ordinary metals to which this chemical was applied, they will all turn into gold. You're getting it? Okay, now tell me, if this is the situation, then how precious is this chemical? Very precious or nothing? Very precious. Okay. If we have this special chemical, if you apply this to the body, speech, and mind of ours, which is so hopelessly, how hopeless? For example, our body, right? Hunger. Okay, some of you may be thinking, it's already 7:53, so I'm feeling hungry, it's time for my dinner. I hope he finishes now. I hope he stops now, it's time for my dinner. Why are you worried? Because of hunger, the pain of hunger. Why the pain of hunger? Because of this body, right? And it's sickness, aging, death, all related to this body. Right? Okay. Then say the speech. The body is very useless. Body is the source of all these problems. And the speech, right? Somebody says, what is stupid thing that you're doing in Tushita? Right? Why don't you don't have something meaningful, shopping? To watch the movie theater, right? Nothing interesting to do. This is the last thing that you're doing. Right? Then what is your reaction? Oh, bodhicitta. No, you will not say bodhicitta. But how dare you say like this? This is your reaction. The speech, what's the speech like? It's so aggressive speech. It's not at all pleasant speech. You getting it? And the mind, it is even worse. Right? Nothing has to really come out from the speech or the physical. Right? Somebody just, our mind is so judgmental about everything. Right? Same. If the other person has, comes very presentable, oh, the person is so fashionable. And if the person doesn't come as presentable, the poor guy. There's no statement, wow, nice, no? Right? So in your case, if you're by yourself, you'll say, I'm very lonely. If you are with other people, you'll say, I have no privacy. This is our thinking, right? There's nothing good. Any situation this mind interacts, will interpret that as the hopeless, right? Meaningless, something very negative. This is how our mind is. Okay, I was so fascinated. It was, I think, it was many years ago. One of the abbots of a monastery, Devunusri monastery, one of the abbots, he built his own house close to my room. My room meaning our groom. We call it comes in. Our groom. We have the rooms and I was allocated one room there. And from the window, I could see this house which the abbot built for himself. And then it was very strange. Just a random thought came in me. How the human mind is so negative and very judgmental, right? So the abbot was making something meaning the house is already almost complete. There's the finishing touch left there, and he was doing a little bit of those things which he could easily assign somebody else to do that, and he can pay a little bit of money. And then I saw that he was doing it, and he was already in his 70s, right? For sure late 60s, if not in 70s, he was doing that. And then my mind, I was just from distance, I cannot see him directly like this, right? Because he's very high authority and he can easily question me, what are you doing? Why are you staring at me, right? So I was from the distance, I was just observing. Okay, so different thoughts came in me. And so this is very interesting. The thoughts of how people can interpret somebody else. How people can be judgmental about other things. So, okay. So the abbot is doing something which he could otherwise instruct somebody else to do that, and he can pay, right? You can hire a worker or laborer. He's doing it himself. Is it good or bad? This is my question. It depends on how you interpret. If your thing is very positive, you'll be amazed. Wow, he's an abbot, the chief, the most important person, the monk in this big monastery, one of the biggest monasteries in the world. And still, he doesn't have this ego. He's doing it himself. This very positive way of looking at it. Yet, the same thing can be interpreted very negatively. Right? Look, he's so stingy. Right? He doesn't even want to spend some money, 100 rupees, to a worker he's doing by himself. Look how a mind can interpret it so negatively. Right? So this was what was going in my mind. Look how mind can interpret in both ways, very positively and very negatively. By interpreting negatively, what's in your mind? Are you happy or unhappy? Very unhappy. You're mentally disturbed. When you look at it, interpret positively, your mind is extremely peaceful, and your positive thinking grows. This is so precious. Okay, So therefore, what I'm saying is that our mind, our body is very defiled. Our speech is worse. And our mind is even worse. Our mind can be so negative. You're getting it? Okay. But don't lose hope. We still have the special chemical. Right? Apply the special chemical to the body, especially mind. This body, instead of which is prone to sickness, aging, and death, hunger, thirst, and so forth, this body will become a divine body which is freed of sickness, aging, death, and hunger, thirst. Don't worry. Just leave aside all the worries related to the body. Your body will become divine. Your speech, anything that comes from your mouth, anything that comes from you as a speech, will be so pleasant in the ears of other people. Right? Okay, sometimes when you sit with, somebody who's always negative, right? Okay, how many of that experience? Tell me, right? So when you sit with somebody who's always negative, just sit with this person for 5 minutes. You have to go to hospital. How many experience that? You feel so heavy. Okay, you start something, just take the talk and make it positive. Again, the same positive thing he will interpret it negative. Right? Everything is so negative. Once I was so young. I must be maybe like age 21. Then they say my teacher, he was a great bodhisattva. Twice or 3 times in my life when I had the honor of to be with him, I got that feeling very spontaneously that if there is a bodhisattva on this earth, he's the one. I got the feeling 2 or 3 times. Right? He was incredibly great. Incredibly learned, very refined scholar, brilliant, plus incredibly compassionate being. So, they say, I was very young, maybe like 20 or 19 or 20, and then I was meeting with some people who were senior to me, and who happened to be students when my teacher was a religious instructor in a school. So the school co-ed. It was co-ed school, boys, girls over there, secular school. And then my teacher was religious instructor there. So one of the students who was then already old meaning age, maybe I was like 19 or 20. She was like age, I think, maybe in 30s. And then it so happened that I was there, and I came to sense that my teacher was also her teacher. And then she had only negative things to say. Only negative things. Right? And then I said that, no, he is so selfless in nature that he travels abroad, and whatever he gets, all will go to the school. He will get nothing. Imagine what she said. She said, even this is politics. Right? To whatever you have, you donate it to school. This is also politics. Now, fortunately, since then, since I was age 16, 17, I have more the critical, is what I call analytical thinking. So when I saw what is going in her mind, I could see that there's no way by which anybody can convince her of somebody as good. For example, the Buddha had been so compassionate, she would say this is politics. Right? So that people will be attracted towards him. Nothing's left there to convince her of the goodness, that goodness exists in this universe. Okay, so the point is that whereas even this lady, if she meets with this alchemy, her mind will be changed. You're getting it? Our body can be changed to divine body, a speech can be changed to something very pleasant. Anybody who hears it, it will just soothe, it will simply heal the person's mind. And the mind, right? The mind, somebody who is very negative, with the bodhicitta, this mind will become so tender, right? So tender that anybody who comes close to you, this person will not feel like going away from you. The person could feel the tenderness and the warmth of your mind. Okay, so what is that thing which changes this body, speech, mind that we have, which are so defiled into a priceless, say the priceless state of the mind, body, speech, mind of the divinity. What is that? That is known as the unconditional love of bodhicitta. So let me read this stanza. It is like the supreme gold. It's referring to this unconditional love. This unconditional love is the supreme gold-making elixir, for it transforms the unclean body we have taken into the priceless jewel of the Buddha's form. Therefore, firmly seizes a waving mind. This stanza, when the young monk recites this, starts the debate with this, all the monks will instantly sit up properly, they'll meditate on this bodhicitta, this spiritual mind. This is so beautiful tradition. Okay, it's already 8. So tomorrow what we'll do is that we will go through one step, which if we reflect on this, we will gain a conviction that yes, it is like 2 + 3 = 5, right? You don't have to believe in it. It is the reality. Likewise, you don't have to believe, oh yeah, it must be so precious. You don't have to say this. You follow the rationality, which I'm going to share with you tomorrow, which was, of course, one of the greatest legacies of this great saint scholar, Bodhisattva Shantideva. So that I will share with you tomorrow. And then from there, if you work on this rationality, you will gain a conviction. There's no choice other than to love others if I really want the maximum happiness for myself. Beautiful. Then you see that what are you for others? What are you working for others? Actually working for yourself. Right? And he put it so beautifully. Okay, when I, for example, say if I'm to feed the Vivekji every day, 1 chapati every day, then I may sometimes be showy or I may be a little bossy to Vivekji, right? That you should be grateful to me, I'm giving chapati every day, right? But I'm eating chapati, not only I give chapati to Vivekji, I'm also eating chapati myself. I never tell myself that, hey, I'm feeding you. I'm feeding you every day. I don't tell myself, but I tell somebody else, because I distinguish I and you. You getting it? Whereas if you start to feel that what I'm doing for you, Vivekji, this is exactly what I'm doing for myself. Actually, what I'm doing for you is you are giving me the opportunity for me to do it for myself, right? So there you see that actually I'm not really doing a favor to anybody. What I'm doing for others is actually they are given the opportunity. They are doing a favor for me, right? I'm doing everything for myself. So what you do for others is actually what you realize that you do for yourself. Whereas if you say that, okay, Buddha said it, you should be kind to others. Okay, I'm being kind to you, my mother, I'm being kind to because the Buddha said it, right? So say you may be if the Buddha is alive, say, okay, Buddha, I listen to you. No, right? It's not like this. It's not like blind faith. Rationality you follow. For example, you said that, okay, if I smile at the Abhijitji, I will smile at him, then he gives me 10 rupees, right? Then when I smile, every time I smile at him, he gives me 10 rupees. You getting it? So then I smile it for him or for myself? For myself. I know by smiling, I'm getting 10 rupees. You getting it? So likewise, the moment I do something good for you, I'm actually doing good for myself. And it is not to be believed. This is what you'll be convinced through the rationality. It's so beautiful. When you see this, right? For example, if I have to make a say for my happiness, if I have to do things to make 100 people happy, it's a very tedious work. How can I possibly make all the 100 people happy? But by doing something, if it makes myself happy, I can make it, I can do it. It's very easy. Just for myself, everything's in my hand. Whereas for others, it is not my hand. So whatever you do, whether you do it for yourself, whether you do somebody else, you make yourself happy. The benefit is directly coming to you. Right? You smile, you get 10 rupees. Right? So like this, you do something good to others, benefit you get. This amazing practice, amazing rationality. Then this rationality you put into action, you will see the wonders. Amazing. So then when I go out, right, then I smile at Dibeshli, then I don't get 10 rupees. Right? Then what will you do? You will miss. Hey, right? After I go to Dibeshli, I smile, I don't get 10 rupees, then I miss. Then I will miss Abhijit-ji. You're getting it? Because every time I smile at him, I get 10 rupees. I smile at Divesh, I don't get 10 rupees. So if I don't get the benefit, I don't get the benefit. Whereas with somebody else, I get it. So the point is that the reality is such that every time you do something to others, you get the benefit. Right? And don't believe in it. It is true. You don't have to blindly believe in it. It's rationally you will be convinced of that. You're getting it? So this is so precious. Then you actually put in practice. Okay, when somebody says some nasty things to you, again you feel so happy, so grateful to you, because I get the opportunity to practice patience. Right? Okay. Then there's no factor which can irritate you. In other words, right? Every factor, you meet with any factor, that will make you feel so happy. If good things happen to you, you're very happy. If bad things happen to you, it's a great opportunity. For example, say in Singapore, okay, I'll share this and then we'll stop here. In Singapore, there's one gentleman, and he has a problem with his daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law is from a different religious tradition. And then every time he sees his daughter-in-law, there's the unhappiness there, uneasiness there, because he is a very proud person, proud and influential person in his religion, and his daughter-in-law is from another religion, right? And he feels so uncomfortable seeing the daughter-in-law. Then he told me, how do you deal with this? How do you deal with this? Then I told him that if you really feel uncomfortable with that, tell me what's the problem? What's the problem with her being from a different religion? Right? So then this is how then she is influencing my family. Which means that it's not that you dislike her, you dislike your family being getting influenced by some other religion. Is this your problem? She said, yes. Then you should be more influential. Now, you should be more influential. You learn about emptiness. You learn about bodhicitta. You learn about how to embrace all other religious people. Right? Then your offsprings, they will all learn from you. Right? Then you can spread. Yes, then he said, yes. Now, with this, instead of disliking feeling towards your daughter-in-law, you should be feeling so grateful to her. And he said, why? Because you're meeting with her, you see the need for you to grow further. That you should become more influential than her. So what made you, how can you become more influential? By learning more. Who made you to learn more and grow more? Because of this girl. This girl is like a teacher. So he was so fascinated. Wow, that's very true. Right? She's the one who's encouraging me to become more influential. She's the one who's encouraging me to learn more, right? I should be feeling so grateful to her. so this is, the point is that these rationalities, if you get these rationalities, things become so easy. If you have a daughter-in-law, right, who is so happy, who is so obedient to you, you're lucky. If you're a daughter-in-law who is not disobedient to you, you're very lucky you grow out of this. You're also very lucky, right? If you're good food, you're very lucky. If you're bad food, you're very lucky. You'll know how to, to thrive or how to face this challenge of being able to eat bad food. Bad food meaning not tasty food, right? Okay, so the point is that we started with the talk. We started with what is known as the cognitive and the affective. Affective is where your mind moves. This is good, this is bad, I like it, I don't like it. These are all the affective sides. All these affective sides are determined by the cognitive side, right? I get the benefit from this, so therefore I like it. I get the benefit of this knowledge. This knowledge, the cognitive side, that is one which determines all your affective movements of your mind. And the compassion is the affective side of the mind. Unconditional love towards others, that can possibly arise in us if you have the cognitive aspect, which gives you a proper vision, proper direction of the reality in a very subtle, nuanced way. Okay, so this is what we're going to discuss tomorrow, along with the real life, say the challenges and how to deal with them. Okay, we'll stop here for a quick. Okay.
Dedication.
Quick dedication, Rando community, if there's some standard dedication stanzas that you use.
Usually we just have something in English.
Okay.
Text or something.
Would you say this in English? In English I don't do. Only with the.
You want your text?
No, we can do it. Okay. Otherwise, we will. Okay. I forgot how to put it. Okay, so let us dedicate the marriage thus gathered accordingly. Okay, so the point is that I'm going to read from this, but the theme that we're going to read is that whatever we learn today from this, let us make a commitment. That's okay, this unconditional love. At least I must put myself closer to us practicing unconditional love. Which means, okay, at home, let's start from my home. At home, where I used to be a little lazy and, say always ask my mother to do things for me. Instead, now, from 100% of what I ask my mother to do, I'll ask my mother to do only 50%. 50% I'll do myself. Right? Okay, usually, say, unnecessarily, I use harsh words towards my mother, towards my siblings, towards my children like this. Okay, I'll cut down on this. Okay, this is the takeaway from this class. Okay, if you can make a commitment for your own good, you will see the difference. You'll see biologically, physiologically, you will see that your mind, your body is going to be much more at ease, right? And then when you actually go there, and if the problems still happen, don't worry. At least you've made a commitment. You've taken the first step to make the commitment. Even this is the first step. With this first step, the next step may happen tomorrow, may happen after 1 week, after 1 month. But this commitment, we have to make some commitments. With this commitment, then we will be able to go further. They can happen. Okay. So with this, let us pray that the wisdom of emptiness to see the reality as it is, and the bodhicitta, the unconditional love, to embrace all living beings equally. May these two minds flourish in the minds of all Tiamata sentient beings, your parents, your children, your family members, and all sentient beings living on the side, may each one of them experience this most beautiful mind of Bodhicitta, the most fearless mind of the vision of emptiness, so that all the fears and the form miseries will come to an end, and the abundance, infinite happiness is what all the beings experience eternally. May His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth, may he live long and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. May all these learning centers, incredible great learning centers of this rich heritage of the Bodhicitta, unconditional love of Bodhicitta, and the rich heritage of wisdom and emptiness, may all these learning centers thrive in the activities of study, reflection, and meditation, such as Gandhin, Sera, Depung, and all the academic monastic institutions, nunneries, academic nunneries of Nyingma, Kaiku, Sakya, Gelu, all the traditions. May all the other centers, such as Trishita Center, Tibet House, and all, may all thrive in the activities of helping the people around these centers in the lighting the lamp of the wisdom, the lighting the lamp of compassion, so that the darkness of the self-centered attitude and the darkness of self-grasping ignorance are eradicated, and that each one of them becomes such a reliable guide to lead all of the sentient beings towards ultimate happiness. Okay, with that in mind, let's just say 2 or 3 stanzas. I will read this for all of us, and meanwhile, let us flow our thought in what has been read. Okay, with a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. The path of union of emptiness and compassion is loosely explained by the protector of both the Dharma and the wings of the snowland. You are the lotus holder Tenzin Gyatso. We supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans and non-humans who herb and meditate through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be truly vanquished through the power of the truth of the 3 jewels. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, and enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and the paths, I could attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by the Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings of dependent origination in particular, even at the cost of my life. Diyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhisvaha Dhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhisvaha Dhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhisvaha.
Thank you very much. So tomorrow we meet at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 4 to 6.